Welcome to Part 1 of the 2024 celebration of model railways held in the Dewars Centre, Perth. Newton Ferrier in 00 gauge, exhibited by Perth Model Railway Group. This new fictitious layout from the Perth Model Railway Group is set in remote countryside at a location anywhere you imagine it to be in northern mainland Britain. The track plan is based on a real location in the northeast of England, just south of the Scottish border. The scene depicts a trailing crossover and refuge loops where slow and low priority trains can be sidetracked to allow the express passenger or high priority freight trains to pass unhindered to maintain their scheduled timetable. We have added a branch line to cater for a local freight yard. The layout was created with a view to show trains in a country scene where the loops and signals are controlled by a signalman, separate from the train operators. The train operators obey the signals, which may not always allow a train into the following section. Locomotives and rolling stock all come from club members, so the period and region on display can vary from the pre-nationalisation era to the modern day, but not all at the same time. Depending on availability, we may vary the region and period at exhibitions, so we can display from pre-nationalisation times to British Railways or to the British Rail blue-grey era. The layout is primarily operated via DCC control using the Digitrax system, but can also be operated in DC mode. Track and points on the scenic area are Pico code 100 operated via a control panel at the signal box. Points are operated via analog cobalt point motors and toggle switches, and the signals are operated via servos and toggle switches. When the layout is operated in DC mode, it is attached to our dedicated DC fiddle yard, which is also used with our other DC layouts. The locomotive control reverts to analog controllers. Buttes in Z gauge. Exhibited by Perth Model Railway Group, the Buttes layout emerged after a discussion about small layouts. The original design called for a small train weaving in and out between live plants in a seed box. This was quickly dismissed due to the lifespan of the plants during the layout storage. The interweaving plan lived on and grew arms and legs and eventually evolved into the layout we have today. This consists of two separate tracks that are virtually identical but are mirror images of each other, which were then overlaid. Each track comprises of a three-layer spiral descent, followed by 2 by 180-degree meanders and a 90-degree bend onto the long climb up to the top of the spiral. It was decided to make buttes the objects that the tracks spiral round, and a natural stone arch as a feature on one ascent, and a steel-arched bridge on the other. The bridge is loosely based on the crossing over the River Douro in Porto, Portugal. The construction of the layout took approximately 1 year. Most of that time was consumed by correctly setting the vertical track clearances, where tolerances of 1 mm were not unusual. The layout has no less than 16 tunnel entrances and exits, which makes it a favourite with children who love to guess where the train will next appear. Farine Road Wagon Repair Depot in 00 gauge, exhibited by Neil Woodbine. Farine Road Wagon Repair Depot is a fictional depot loosely set in the English Midlands area. There are two elements to it: the WRD itself, along with a small passenger terminus station, which encompasses passenger and parcels operations. The layout can be based anytime from mid-70s to the late 80s and runs a wide variety of passenger and civil engineers, freight stock, and locomotives. Gresy Bridge in 00 gauge, exhibited by Renfrewshire Model Railway Club. Gresy Bridge is built to capture the look and atmosphere of the modern-day direct rail services DRS depot, located at Gresy Bridge in Crewe. The layout features the readily identifiable buildings and locomotives that are a feature of the real location. Classes 37, 57, 66 and 68 are all regular visitors to the depot for fueling, stabling and servicing, While passing behind the depot buildings, the Transport for Wales passenger services can regularly be seen, along with a variety of engineering stock carrying out maintenance. A small network rail yard is located at the headshunt end of the depot. All of the locomotive fleet on the layout are sound-fitted and run at prototypical speeds while running. A fully functional tamper can also be seen regularly carrying out its duties along the main lines at the rear. The layout is fully DCC and is controlled by an ESU ECOS unit. This also controls all of the routes, interlock signals, doors and gates that are featured around the layout. The blue flashing lights located round the depot are a safety feature of the real depot. The purpose of them is to notify any staff in that area that locomotive moves are about to take place, and this is replicated in miniature. Located around the layout are lots of little cameo scenes which capture the modern-day railway network. These include engineers working on the track and signalling systems, while devegetation works are also carried out. The track work is detailed Pico bullhead apart from the main lines which feature flat bottom rail. Even pandrol clips are detailed on the main line. The layout was originally constructed by Chris Fordham, who did the track work, buildings and basic scenery. Its current owner is Mark Davies, and since taking it over he has carried out the fine detailing, scenic works and the installation of the digital control. Gresy Bridge. Exhibited by Cooper and District Model Railway Club, Gresy is a fictional township along a rural stretch of the rail network in the east of Scotland. The layout represents a short stretch of a main commuting line running through a hilly rural stretch of the network. The line emerges from a short tunnel running under the hilly terrain and continues southwards, disappearing into another tunnel section. There are some sidings adjacent to the main line, currently used as engineers' sidings, but which historically allowed coal deliveries to the local town via transport from the road running down to the sidings. The layout can operate within a number of time periods. For example, BR steam days where A4 Pacifics can be seen operating express passenger services and short mixed freight, combining coal deliveries to the nearby township. BR Blue and sectorization period, combining intercity services, MGR freight services, and local DMU services. Modern day express inter-7 city services, local DMU, and occasional engineers ballast services. Winstead, in 00 gauge, exhibited by Cooper and District Model Railway Club. Winstead is a modern-day fictional layout set in the English West Country and features an island terminus platform station operated by GWR where Class 150, 153 and 158s arrive and depart. Adjacent to the station is a DMU servicing and stabling point. DB Cargo have a satellite depot for basic and routine maintenance on both locos and China clay wagons. There are also occasional visits from other freight operators. Thailand 1883, in P4 18.83mm gauge, exhibited by the East of Scotland 4mm group. Before the opening of the Forth Bridge in 1890, Thailand was the southern terminus of railways in Fife. All goods and passengers heading south had to transfer to ships to cross the Firth of Forth. Thailand 1883 shows the station and dock facilities in that year of 1883, with passengers transferring to paddle steamer and goods vehicles shunted and moved onto ships. The dock at Thailand is near the Fife coalfields and had coal hoists to lift an entire wagon and empty it into the hold of a freighter. We show a working example of one of the four hoists. Typically, coal left Thailand for Scandinavia, and timber for pit props was imported on the same ships. Thailand and Edinburgh had terminals for the world's first roll-on roll-off ferry. We show this ferry and its connecting bridge, moving wagons onto the boat to sail south. Passenger services from Thailand head northeast. Our locomotive fleet includes number 224, known as the Diver, which fell from the Tay Bridge, was recovered and rebuilt. We also show local stopping passenger services, with passenger operations following the period timetable. Thailand had an extensive locomotive and wagon works. Our model includes the roundhouse engine shed, with views inside the building where locos are turned and stored. Outside, an ash crane empties the ash pit. Burn Thailand 1883 is built to Scale 4 standards. Most items are either scratch-built or kits designed by the team behind the layout. It is the result of about 20 years' work.